All right. Um, Nice win for the team. I thought again credit Alabama A&M for the effort in the first half and for making it challenging. I thought we had to battle through adversity. Just a couple of notes. The first series defensively, it was a few third down conversions where we had third and get off the field for us. There's enough distance in those to feel like we should be able to clear it and get off, and we weren't able to. Quarterback scrambling, quarterback draws. Those are frustrating things for players and coaches, and so got on our heels, and I was really proud of the way the group held the line there at the end and forced a field goal. Well, that was a big moment for them, and came back to the sideline and just got right back into process. Ended up kind of rattling off stops after that, including an interception, which was really good to see. Offensively, in the first half, there were some flashes of good play, but again, we lacked consistency there. We made a poor decision with the ball there in the red zone, and I felt like we were seeing too many third downs on that side. I'd like to see a little more efficiency on first and second down and trying to get the sticks moved early to get in a rhythm and to put pressure. Again, though, proud of how that group responded coming out of half, and I felt like dialed into an identity that allowed us to separate in the second half. Our special teams units came up big again this week. We had 2 blocks and a couple of nice returns. So that continues to be a strength, but something we need to lean on to win in the margins as we're going to move forward in our season. But on the whole, I'm proud of the effort. I'm proud of the way that we battled the adversity, and happy to come away with a win. So with that, I'm glad to open up to questions.
Did you adjust anything on that third down defense, or just play better after that first drive?
I think you start to just tighten the lanes down. There's you're rushing 4, they have 5 to block. There's going to be a window. So if you get on different levels, or you're running outside and you start opening those seams up, it may feel like you're getting a win in a speed rush, but you're actually opening up an escape for the quarterback. And so I felt like we adjusted just in our lane discipline. We started closing those windows down, and that forced them in a situation to throw from the pocket, which was good for us.
What do you make of the game that AJ had?
Not consistent enough for where we want to go, and I honestly I felt like he was wearing that too much in the first half. One of the things I want for him is to be able to relax and play, and just saw some moments where he forced the ball. There was also some really strong throws and strong plays too. I thought the connection with Will Shepherd there early, was, we know what he's capable of. I think for him, again, it's like how small can he approach it? The small things done well. That down and down out process that he could be a part of, and I feel like as we started the second half, you saw that performance emerge, and let's build on that, because he's a young player and we're still young in this season, and so we need to give some room for those guys to grow through their experience. But was really pleased with how he bounced back in the second half and had fun playing.
Cedric played really well at the end and really showed his ferocity within the offense. How do you incorporate him later in the season when at the beginning of the games?
Yeah, he's he flashed in the spring and he's had a good solid camp, but we're going to give room for him to emerge here as a playmaker. Today was impressive. Now, just like last week, stood in front of you and said, let's not overreact. I think we have to take the same approach this week too. I think in some ways in that second half, we did the things that we expected to do, and it's not about obviously as a freshman, 2 touchdowns and I think 89 yards and flashing at times. That's exciting stuff, but it's going to be about how quickly we can reset, refocus, and continue to build. But we expect him to be a playmaker for us, and I'm excited to watch him continue to grow through the season.
What did you see on those 2 punt block plays?
Good execution. Brian Longwell, I think actually Brian got them both. Langston was a part of it too on both. Again, those are 2 young players that are stepping in for us. Langston, a sophomore, but Brian is a freshman. You know, they had the right angle. They shaved tight off the hip of the block and they accelerated the block point. Really nice job executing, and that's, you know, it goes back to the, you know, our preparation. I think we've, you know, Coach Lustig's done a great job of positioning those guys for those moments in practice. And one of the things that happens as you build depth and you grow a team through this developmental process is your play on special teams improves, because that's where you see that team speed show up. In the return game again, and obviously in the block punts, and I think that we saw the benefit of that.
Was there anything specific you saw out of Alabama A&M that led you to call the block plays?
No, opportunity. You know, we study every opponent. We want to have a couple blocks lined up, and you know, we wanted to. You're always looking for whatever weakness you can try to expose, and we felt like we had an advantage on that unit, and we took advantage of it.
Ricky Wright, what happened? How is he?
He's okay. He was able to return to the game. We just felt like the best thing was for him to not get out there. That doesn't mean he's not going to be sore tomorrow, and that doesn't mean we're not going to have a plan for him to return. But I expect him to be back as I'm talking to you now. We'll reassess tomorrow and kind of plot our course forward. But there's nothing major. He'll be day to day, and we'll see what he can handle this week in preparation.
It's not always obvious to us, like the responsibility on big pass plays. The one that they scored on, where you think the breakdown was.
That's good. Robbie, I was waiting for this one from you. Yeah, and that's good, and I do appreciate the question. Obviously, the two, you know, the one drive in the first half, and then the two in the second half. The big play touchdown obviously that's a moment in that game where we need to sync up in all three phases. And we just come out and we scored on offense, and now you want to push the accelerator down. And we have to be able to toe the line on defense at that point and generate the stop. What happened was, and just to not go too far into the weeds, we moved Jalen Mahoney over to the boundary and let him play both field and boundary safety to account for Durkee being out, and also obviously Marlon Sewell was involved in that rotation too, and they ran an out by number 2 and a vertical by 1. And field and boundary play a little different. You know, in the field, the space allows you to have a little more margin of error early. You can play with a little more patience. On the boundary, it gets on you a little faster. His read in that situation is go from 2 out to 1, and to cap the vertical at 1. And it's not, Robbie, something that's kind of a part of our base identity. And we just were late getting over, and they exposed it. So got to give credit to them. Obviously, that'll be a snap that we learn from, and it was disappointing. And we want to be better. The other drive was the long run, which from my eyes on the sideline was missed tackles. And we want to be better in that respect too. So we'll use those as growth moments. And obviously, coming out of week 1, you know, we wanted to tighten the coverage up. It was too bad that we weren't able to do that for 4 quarters, but again, we'll grow forward from that.
Probably too much to expect Shepard to score 2 touchdowns receiving every week, but how important that he's an option every time when you've got a short field like that.
Well, he's a good player, and I think the chemistry with he and AJ is really been developed. And you know, I feel like he's a weapon. He's a big target. He catches really well. He knows how to use his body to catch. And so we'll keep going to him. You know, that's a great recipe for us.
With not just Cedric Alexander contributing, but also Junior Sherrill, Lynn Humphreys, Cam Johnson scoring the touchdown, how good do you feel about that freshman class, not even just this year, but moving forward on the offensive side?
Well, we're excited about them, and again, I want to. Yeah, I'm happy for all those guys, and we're not surprised. We've seen this, you know, through the summer into fall camp, but now to me, this is they've got a couple games as foundation. Obviously, Cam getting out there today was nice for him, but to me, this is now about how we build forward and how we continue to progress them, get them comfortable, and allow their playmaking ability to emerge. And those guys all have it. So happy for their success tonight, interested in their refocus and continued commitment to the process that got them to this point. Because if they do that, you know, they're going to be showing up for us late in the year too.
I saw
Offensively-
Davian Davis like wasn't wearing a uniform and had a play sheet. Is he medically retiring?
I don't want to go there. I think Alden definitely, and really, you know, being conscious of the fact that there's no rush for him to get back right now. And what we love about Davian is that, you know, though he's not out there on the field, and anyone who knows him knows how important football is to him, this guy is finding a way to contribute to our program because you know, he's been a great leader for us. And I love having him out there. I love having his spirit and energy, and obviously always wanting what's best for him physically and physically long term too. So we'll keep going with that, but that's out definitely, and I'll let you know if there's any further update on it.
Darren Agu went through warm-ups, came out in shorts. What happened there?
He was cleared to play tonight. We did not want to put him in there without having a Tuesday and Wednesday practice under his belt. He had a good finish to the week last week, and we expect him to be full speed ahead starting tomorrow.
What was the biggest difference between the offense in the first half and the second half?
Well, rhythm was a part of that. I thought we did a good job as a staff, you know, designing tempo and allowing us to push. I mean, you would expect, you know, for us with our depth and our training, like we want to be able to separate from teams in the second half, and we were able to use tempo there and up tempo, in particular to create rhythm on offense and get the ball out to our playmakers. And that made a big difference early on, and then obviously once we got into rhythm, we started playing with confidence, and I saw our identity emerge. And you know, like I said to you too, in the first half, it just seemed to be so much first down, second down, third down, and that's not a formula to get the level of rhythm. You know, we want to see positive movement on first and second down, get the chains moving, and again, try to get the defense on the heels. We did that in the second half.
Anything else? What do you make of your offensive line's performance tonight?
We talked about this on Tuesday. Alabama A&M presents some real challenges, and that's a physical team that was not going to make it easy for us up front. I thought we made a couple of adjustments in the run game in terms of the tactics that allowed for us to kind of attack some of the things they were doing. But what I saw was a group that was determined to run the ball and wanted to make sure that they had the opportunity to do that. And I was pleased with that mindset, that mentality, that attitude. And yet, again, we don't want to overreact to one night. We have to go right back into it and continue to move forward. And this team is not done growing. We're going to try to take every opportunity we can to keep working towards what our highest level is. And once we get there, we feel like we have a good team here. You know, we just, you know, we're not all the way there yet. But I thought tonight we synced up a little better and you know, at least to me, allowed ourselves to play with an identity for 4 quarters. The run game was certainly a part of that.
All set?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.